wanted to tell a story about my near-death experience. And it's been tough for me to even want to talk about this, but I do want to talk about it. And I think I'm going to do a short version and a long version, and we'll just see how that goes. I'll do more based on the comments, I guess. So if you're new, my name is Rosequartz728, and on this channel, I'm just me. And, you know, I just kind of want to share different experiences of mine, different stories. I go live a lot. You know, sprinkling of shorts and stuff like that. I talk about work, life, home life, stuff like that, my kids. So if you're interested, please subscribe, please check out my other videos, see if there's anything you love. So when I was 4 years old, it was like a family get-together party. I don't know if it was like a birthday party or I have no clue, maybe 4th of July, I have no idea. But it was summertime, and we were, the whole family, like my extended family and my parents, we were at a pond. And there was a dock on the pond, and we were all kind of playing around in the water and stuff like that. And I remember that I was like about 4 years old, and I was sitting on that dock, and I definitely couldn't swim. And I was sitting on that dock at the end of the dock, and I remember seeing fish and being like, oh, pretty, you know, those fish are so pretty. And I remember reaching down like I could grab one. And when I did, I fell in and I sunk to the bottom. And I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but that's what it felt like. And I remember looking up through the water and seeing the sun coming through the water. And it was all like slow motion for me. It was like I slowly sank to the bottom. There was no pain, there was no discomfort, but I was like almost immediately whisked away to another place. And in this place, my body didn't look like this. I was a ball of light, and that ball of light that I was doing somersaults and just bouncing all around, and I was floating through the air, and I felt so good because I was weightless and so happy and excited. And I remember saying, this is so awesome, I love this, oh, I'm so weightless, and oh, this is wonderful, I'm so happy. And finally, boom, I'm at this podium. And I'm not talking like a regular podium, I'm talking like it was made of stone, and it was super tall. And at this podium there was these beings, and they were like elves. They had like, I remember like ears, it seemed like pointy ears. They had pale skin, they had pale hair. They reminded me of the elves from Lord of the Rings. Okay? And I was like, yay, I made it, I'm back. And they said, no, what are you talking about? They looked me up and they said, no, you're early, you're not supposed to be here yet. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm here. And in my mind, I had like won the game, you know, I had made it. I finalized it, you know, I was done, and I didn't want to go back. And they told me I had to go back. And that's where it started, just this long period of basically debate on whether or not I was going to go back, because I was saying, I don't want to go back, and you're not going to make me, and I'm happier here, and I want to be here. And they said, well, no, you signed some contracts. And I know what I'm saying doesn't sound super Christian, but there was an aspect of God, Jesus, and all that in this. And what they were saying to me was, if you do not go back, you will lose your place being closer to God. And that's basically why we're all here. We're fighting the dog-eat-dog, the rat race. We are fighting to get closer to God. And they want to dampen it and make it sound disgusting, like dog-eat-dog sounds cannibal, sounds horrible. Rat race sounds disgusting. But that's the truth. It's like we are racing to get closer and closer to God. And you want to call it whatever you want. We're going for the same thing, okay? I believe that in my heart. And so I was told that if I gave up then and I stayed, I would just not be able be as close as I would have been if I came back and fulfilled my contracts and my obligations. And so I began to argue, and I'll elaborate more on that in another video. But I really began to argue, and I said, well, listen, if I'm going back, I'm going to be able to do this and this and this and this without consequence. And it went back and forth. It went back and forth. And finally, I mean, here I am. So how did I figure out about all this? Because I didn't remember this when I woke up. I woke up like choking on water. My family like bringing me back to life, basically like pumping water out of me or something. Like, I don't even remember. My grandmother's the one that dived in to get me. She dove in, sorry. And she's the one who pulled me out of the water. And I remember being upset. That's all I remember. Why am I here? And I'm in so much pain and I couldn't breathe good. Which after that, for years and years, I always had issues with bronchitis, pneumonia, a lot of respiratory issues, you know. Finally, I grew out of it, I believe, but I do believe it was from that water in my lungs. I came back and I didn't remember a lot of it. I remembered bits and pieces of the encounter and the experience. And it felt like it was like 50 years I was there arguing about why I didn't want to come back. And really it was probably less than like 2 minutes, right? Less than 5 minutes. Because I didn't die, right? Essentially, it was just all in my head, essentially. It was just like, I don't know how it happened. I mean, if I could explain it, I'd be a billionaire, right? So I know that I didn't want to come back here. And I know that I was coerced into coming back here, maybe bribed into coming back here. And a lot of this really hit me hard when I was watching YouTube and I'm scrolling along and I see stuff about DMT trips. And that was popular for a while. It was in my feed for a while. I don't know about y'all. But I clicked one and the guy described his experience and I said to myself, I've done that, but I've never done DMT. And so it freaked me out. It really freaked me out. I was like, what? So I went on this big research spree. Come to find out, an near-death experience, an NDE, is very similar to a DMT experience because your brain naturally produces DMT when you die. And so I was 4 years old on a NDE DMT trip, and I still to this day can't believe it happened, but it's real and it happened to me, and I wanted to share my experience. And if anybody wants to hear more about it, I'll do a longer video. Thanks, guys.